slapped the Raven in front of Lamar Jackson, and Jackson gave him 2 full hand push right against his chest and pushed the guy into next week. Said, "Keep your fucking hands off my players."
I mean, what gives people? And by the way, we're live. We just jumped onto this thing. It's Michael Knight, New York, Vinnie on a Monday morning.
Pretty close to Sunday, as close as you can get.
Day off, and we're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:10 or thereabouts. This morning, we were just talking about, as you joined us out there live, the first day of your National Football League 2025-26 season.
And it was an exciting day for half the teams. Half the teams felt that they got something out of the season so far. Half the teams are defeated without a victory and are morose. It's a morose Monday for them.
And
that's because it doesn't feel good to lose.
Well, yeah, it never feels good to lose, but it's how you lose also. I think that has something to do with it. But we were talking about just this phenomenon that's I mean, it's been happening in sports over the last 10, 20 years, but seems to be over the last 5 years, probably since COVID, where people really feel that they have a right to, a license to, really is what it amounts to, a license to just abuse players. They figure
with no consequences. They're absolutely they're shocked when somebody turns around and says that's far enough. You go no further. I'm stepping in.
Yeah, and it's the same people who go to the zoo and mess with the tigers. You know, the same idiots that go to the San Francisco Zoo and talk one of their buddies into going over the fence, with results that,
feeding time,
while expected, can be shocking to spectators.
The large female and male tigers will pick up the visitor by the neck and take them to a secluded place in the cage where they snap vital parts of their torso and other important areas of the anatomy. And then you don't feel like crawling anywhere. You don't go back over the fence. You become pet food.
You're a guest for dinner and not like you expected.
No, not at all.
I to this day can't, for the life of me, can never understand how somebody thinks, even in a drunken stupor, why that is a good idea. Why the idea of them jumping over that fence and going into the tiger cage or the lion cage or the snake pit. I mean, there's various iterations of how it happens. What school did you go to that taught you that at some point in your life, this would be a good idea?
And you're outnumbered in a variety of ways. The tiger and the lion are constructed to hunt and to bring down their prey. Also, they're 7 feet long and weigh 600 pounds, and that gives them a little advantage over you. They have claws and teeth, and they're not the least bit shy about using them. And they'll show you how quick. Have you ever heard the expression "quick as a cat"? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Sugar, who owns this house, and is somewhere around, is just listening to this conversation, is getting excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's listening to the conversation and going, I really could do that if I wanted to.
These two guys have a point. I'm going to listen to their show more often.
Yeah, Sugar is at a point now where she's going, these these folks sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a night. The big guy doesn't sleep as much, but
And that's when I'm up. I'm ready to be sugar. If anything happens during the night, I got it covered.
yeah, I'm up, I'm roaming around. And the funny thing about them is, it's and this is not sugar, but the aforementioned lions that we were talking about, tigers. The bears will just rip you apart. There's no,
But they're happy to do it.
yeah. I mean, they're happy, but they're not going to play with you.
No.
The bear's just going to take your neck out, and then you're dead. You're gone. You don't. After that, you just meet. The cats will disable you and sell you a ticket to
for their
show.
own amusement.
Yeah, you're around for a big part of that show. They don't just take you out and mercifully just let you not experience. They keep you around, and they're saying, well, next act 2.
Cat owners would tell you that their cat has caught a mouse, brings it in, puts it down, puts its paw on it, looks at it for a while, and then just looks away. I got nothing more to say to you. You're just a mouse. And the mouse tries to make an exit, and the cat says, one thing I mentioned was I reserve the right to reactivate my offense. And consequently, I'm going to let you get to the corner there by the couch and you think you're free. I'll find you and I'll break your neck and turn you into pet food like the guys do in the zoo in Berlin or wherever the tigers are being fed humans today.
Yeah, there's no there's a little stage show that goes on with all of this, and for the benefit of Mr. Kite and others that want to keep an eye on this. They have no, they're every week one of them is chosen. You're right. It's your stage this week. And
this week, Pete Hegseth has been chosen to be eaten by a tiger. He doesn't know it yet, and wasn't going to tell him. I could call him and notify him, but it seems cruel. Let it be a surprise. And it has to do with his hair pomade, I think.
Well, that stuff looks flammable from what I could see. I mean, I mean, from what I have seen of Mr. Hegseth's stuff, he seems to be somebody that, you could light a match near that thing and signal for ships to come on in.
Come on in and view the Department of War. Take a good look.
Yeah. I mean, he's, what do you have any idea what team he rooted for yesterday? It was the Washington Redskins, which they all now call
the Commanders.
Well, they don't call them the Commanders. Nobody in the administration calls them the Commanders. I guarantee you. I mean, they're nor do they call the basketball the what is the basketball team? The Wizards.
Wizards.
Although I don't know, Wizards could be an attractive name for them.
Then there's the Gulf of Mexico, which is no longer part of the map.
Yeah, well, as long as there's a grand wizard they'll. But if not, they go back to the bullets. I mean, they got guys walking the streets of Washington with bullets, real live, big bullets, and they're happy.
Chicago's the city of big shoulders. Unless you've got big shoulders of your own, do not invade Chicago. Is my advice. I don't think they're going to take it kindly. L.A., we let these things roll off our back. What are you doing? You guys are in downtown LA. Nobody goes down there.
Yeah.
If you invade, try Malibu, try Hollywood, try.
Go to Westwood, and there might be a different story going on. Don't go near what's that fancy ass supermarket that everybody goes to for the $12 espressos.
Gelson's.
No. There's I don't know. I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a real fancy. It makes Whole Foods look like a discount warehouse, And it seems that yeah, there's parts of those aisles that you would want to go. You're not going to go in there and get a discount, because you're in uniform.
Oh, heroin.
Yeah, that's it. Heroin. I know it had a. It sounded like a tennis player.
Got one down the street here in Pasadena, on Lake Avenue.
You'd have to have one there.
Yeah, we got one.
It's kind of the anti-Trader Joe's, from what I understand.
They have bold pricing, but it's great to go in there, and if you're hungry,
strategy.
If you're hungry for lunch, you can get a square of salmon for like $10. Prepared, little square of salmon that's been
ketchup on it or anything?
No.
Or do you have to pay extra for the ketchup?
Surrounded by plastic and a price that says $10.
Wow. Well, you know what the man says. If they're going to pay for it, we're going to sell it to them at that price. No, nobody said, "Nah, I don't think I want that." To put it back. I can't. Is it any less with the skin off of it? Can you take the bones out of it? Can you keep the pieces I don't need?
It is boned, but it's not. There's not a lot of presentation. It's just a square prepared salmon, a little bit of sauce.
They don't even throw like yesterday's arugula and kimchi or something in there, huh?
That would be extra. Now you're $12.
Yeah, nah. See, and homie can't swing with that, man. I get a box of Lunchables, sit on the corner with that and a Diet Pepsi, or Coke Zero, and I'll be a happy camper. I don't have to have a $10 square of minuscule square. I mean, if it's a honking big square, then it's okay. But something tells me that at this supermarket,
it's a modest size.
What is the attract? See, I don't live down there, but I see the people that live down there, and I can never figure out what is the attraction of paying $10 at an oddly named supermarket deli counter, and what is it, $18 for a smoothie or something like that? What is the attraction to that? I mean, I understand.
I think it's to be seen there.
Is it? Is that the deal? Like you're sitting there hoping, you're piling stuff up in your cart, hoping that Tom Cruise is going to come walking through the place
and high five you.
One of the stars and then you pull out your phone and you say, "Mr. Cruz, can I get a picture with you?" You don't have to buy stuff to do that. You could stand at the condiment counter and just take some ketchup packets out, put some ketchup packets back in. I've done that. Take some ketchup packets out, put some ketchup packets back in. You can even go across the street, buy a $2 cup of coffee. Well, okay, a $4 cup of coffee, and just stand in the oddly named supermarket.
The idea of sauce is extra, condiments are extra, soy sauce is extra, everything's extra. It's a la carte and simple presentation. There's not a lot of falderall, and the price is notable, but the presentation is not over the top. And that's kind of interesting. It's a bare bones look to the actual food that you put in your bag. There's not a lot of extras with it, and that's part of the mystique, part of the presentation.
So it's simply to be seen. Let me ask you a question. I mean, I'm presuming now that you may have at some time been so hungry that you said, "You know what? I'll just pay freaking $10 for this thing."
So when they opened down the street on Lake here in Pasadena, I wanted to know what the hipsters were doing in there, so I went.
Yeah.
I went one time and I got lunch for Kristen and myself.
there are times, and I'll admit to this, when I've gone to a place like this and to say to myself, well, let me see if, just like the $7 milkshake in Pulp Fiction. It's got to, it's got to be a milkshake that just shakes your world. No pun intended, but yeah, it's got to be a milkshake. A $10 piece of salmon served with nothing, just in a plastic container that is probably microwavable. It's got to be the best tasting freaking salmon in the world. It's got to be salmon that will change your life.
It was good, but it did not change my life. What it did was it allowed me not to go back. So I have this store, well-known store in my neighborhood, and I've been there once.
Kind of like me with Whole Foods. It's just a rare occasion when I go to Whole Foods.
They've got to have something that you want that you can only get there. A certain kind of ketchup that is only available there.
Bisto. I find that Bisto, which is an essential ingredient for making Thanksgiving turkey, for basting the turkey in a solution, I find that you have to find Bisto. Now, you used to be able to get Bisto in an upper-end supermarket, a metropolitan market, something that wasn't off the charts, but a better type supermarket, a QFC. I don't know if they still have those, or oddly enough, a place that was a family-run supermarket.
You used to have a QFC on Mercer Island when I lived there.
Yeah. A place that was a kind of a chain, a small chain, IGA, something like that. For some reason, they usually had Bisto, but it's become quite expensive. I'm sure that now with the tariffs is prohibitive, but for Thanksgiving, you need Bisto. You can't have Thanksgiving if you don't have Bisto. So you venture into the Whole Foods, so you venture into a PCC, or you venture into a supermarket that's an upper end supermarket. It's a place that is $9.95 for a pound of grapes. Grapes are the great indicator. If it's $1.99 for grapes, you stand a chance. If it's $9.99 a pound, turn around and get out, man.
Those are some crazy grapes.
There's nothing in them grapes that are going to make you any better. They're not even from a country that we're friendly with, probably. But you need the Bisto, so I go. And inevitably, you don't just, I'm never a guy that goes into a supermarket and picks up one thing.
Nobody does.
Yeah, nobody goes to you're walking down the aisle looking for Bisto, and all of a sudden you see something. You say, well, I've never seen that before. And you look at it and you say, all right, throw it in the cart. Look for the Bisto some more. Or you see a vegetable that has an odd shape to it. And you say, oh, okay, throw it in the cart. And then you get to the counter, and they want to charge you 10 cents a bag on top of the $10 for the salmon. And you go, wait a second.
Well, these are odd shaped vegetables that you bought. Now, you knew they were going to be expensive. You got to pay the freight. If you wanted a regular shaped tomato, that would be one thing. But you bought a pentagon shaped tomato, that's going to cost you.
Well, see, my sister has that beat here at beautiful M&M Acres. She just has a thing, a vine of tomatoes out in the yard. And so when she has a nice mozzarella that she's bought somewhere. She brings the mozzarella home, puts it on a thing, cuts it up, down in the yard, picks a nice looking tomato, brings that up, washes it off of whatever animal decided that they were going to investigate it.
Looks pretty tasty so far.
Yeah. And, a little oregano, a little basil, and
pepper.
There you go. Pepper. Yeah. Whatever, condiment to your heart's desire. You got a cabinet full of them. And you're in. you're having a meal, and you didn't have to deal
Cheese,
with.
cheese, tomato, and seasoning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a caprese salad. That's and it's not a $29.95 experiment or experience, I should say. Everyone, Erhan,
Erewhen.
Erhan,
I believe it's how it's spelled.
that name.
You can't miss it. It's the only store like that.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I would imagine that there's not a lot of them that could survive in L.A.
And a
Now,
lot of it is
they used to have a store like that here in Northern California, just near San Francisco, called Traeger's.
I don't
Was
remember that.
I don't think they were as bad as that, but there's nobody to really see in San Mateo, so they're not going to get money out of you for charging you for waiting for Tom Cruise to come walking through the door, unless he's filming a movie somewhere.
Well, the thing about Erewhen is it's quick food to go. It's not for people who are going to buy ingredients to go home and make their own meal. It's stuff to grab and go.
Right.
And for that convenience and choice and element of presentation, it's not too expensive for some people.
You get that walking into Costco. You can walk into Costco and for $4.95, walk out with a whole chicken.
I know that chicken. His name is Larry.
Yeah, and he's got brothers, Mo and Curly, and Harpo Chico, Zeppo, Groucho, and
Shimp.
and Shemp, yes, and Curly Joe, and Joe Besser. I mean, there's a bunch of those chickens. As a matter of fact, their supermarket is named "Ain't Nobody Here But Us Chickens."
Some days that's true. There's nobody but the chickens.
So I don't know. I mean, again, I guess it's the atmosphere. They charge you for the atmosphere. They charge you for the chance that it's like the lottery, which we both didn't win. I don't think you won because I don't think you'd be here if you won.
Oh, I'd be here, but I'd have a new computer.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. You'd probably be doing a show out of the back of a one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans as we just drove around L.A.
I played though. I played the game.
Yeah, but my sister did. Unfortunately, she didn't win either. I was hoping that she would win. I didn't play. I should have played because the drawing was on the day before my birthday, so I probably should have done it. But I don't know. I know in advance I'm not going to win, so I can hang on.
Think about all the people that played for the weeks leading up to the winner yesterday. How many thousands of people played, and the odds still favored the game with no winner.
Do the odds ever favor the player?
Well, it just shows you how extreme the odds are.
Yeah.
If you can have that many players and that many efforts to win and go week after week with no winner. Anybody can play. Everybody play. Get yourself a ticket. And not even the second place winner.
Yeah, once in a while, somebody figures the system out. We were just talking about that, the guy in, what was it, Wisconsin, the math teacher that figured it out with his small town, and they were able to buy enough tickets. They invested, what was it, $1 million or $2 million or whatever it was.
If you buy enough tickets, you can win.
And bought the tickets. And of course, they had the winning number. But I don't remember. There was something that they declared it wasn't legal or something like that. The government wasn't going to let them get away with that. That wasn't going to happen. So, but, or it's like these sport betting things that, you win You figure out a way to win, but all of a sudden you get a letter from the sports betting place saying that, well, we don't think you really won. Your team won.
Spend $5, win 500.
Yeah, your team won, and everything that you thought won, but we don't think you won.
You picked the winner, but we're not paying.
Right, but we're not. I mean, yeah, you can tell everybody you picked the winner, but we're not paying, which seems to be something that's I've read in more than one article in like The Athletic and some different sports-oriented newspapers, and the Wall Street Journal, I believe, which is not. There are people who consistently look for the sports section in that paper, but it doesn't exist.
It's not that easy to find.
Yeah, you got to spend some time, but every once in a while they grab one of the guys from the Sports Business Journal, have them write an article for it. One of the articles that they wrote was about this, a couple of these companies who pull some fancy stuff with some of the people who they get to open up an account and who hit whatever it is that they have to hit. The parlay, the number, the point spread, whatever it is.
Right.
And the leagues don't step in to say, if you're going to advertise this way, you got to pay these people because it's on us. And so people get cheated out of what they legitimately want. They find something wrong with it.
Well, think about who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a gambling company. So that in itself is a gamble. You're gambling with
gamblers.
With the presumption that they're going to pay you if you win what they say you have to achieve to be a winner. Well, I've done that. Yeah, but we changed the rules just slightly. And that no longer accounts. It doesn't register anymore with us. We said that we can change the rules at any time. We changed them. And you're not a winner.
Right.
What do I get?
Yeah, there's a flaw in your reasoning. You thought this game was fair.
It ain't fair.
It ain't. It's like life. We consider it to be just like life. It is not a fair game. The game on the field where there's actually a number of points to be scored and one team beats the other either by runs or touchdowns or point after attempts or whatever it is, that is probably about as fair as you're going to get, because we tend, for the most part, to not change the rules in the middle of the game.
But we have, and we'll do it again.
Right. We will, we'll look and say, if we're not making money here, we're going to change the rules to make us money, because that's who we are. We're mobsters that are actually legitimate. We wear shorts instead of pinstripe suits, but we're the same shit.
Same shit.
Same shit.
And we give ESPN a cut, but we decide what the cut is, and ESPN does not squeak because they got nothing to say.
Yeah, league owners say, wow, this is money that we didn't make 10 years ago that allows us to buy a bigger yacht, have girls with bigger breasts, have more illegitimate children. Let's whoop it up. So
the 49ers are not going to be a team to bet on because McCaffrey, their star running back, is hurt. Kittle, their star tight end, is hurt. Other elements of the team are second and third stringers who are filling in, and they've played one game. So this could get grim in a hurry. I'm sorry Seattle had to suffer and lose anyway, but that was the
it appears that the 49ers were physically hurt, but it appears that the Seattle Seahawks were mentally hurt. They seem to not be able,
hurt.
Yeah, they seem to not be able to either understand the play that was brought in or have a desire to complete the play.
Some of those plays are complicated.
That was brought in, or forget which way the ball was supposed to be headed. That's part of the problem with football, is that the ball has two ends on it with points.
They point in each. One's pointing that way, one's pointing the other way.
Yeah, and you have these guys that have been hitting the head since they're in Pee Wee football. Sometimes they get those points confused. Sometimes they say, "Well, wait, I was thinking about going this way."
And remember, Pop Warner himself had mush for brains. You couldn't get a sensible comment out of him. The stuff Pop Warner used to say never made any sense.
Well, Pop Warner was, he was hanging out at the local Cracker Barrel, saying, "Hey, get off my lawn."
They call me Pop.
They call me Pop.
That's what they call me.
They call me Pop. Now you wear a helmet, but make it a leather one.
A pretty leather one.
A pretty leather one. It's it looks good, but it's not gonna do much for when you get hit with the force of going through a windshield. Prior to the invention of plate glass,
I want to know why
safety glass, I should say.
Why the NFL, who spends a fortune on equipment and design and getting the helmets shiny every week, give a padded helmet to one of the guys in the line, and then he puts like a hairnet over the top of it with the team logo on it. I'm going, can't you guys get something that looks professional? Does it have to be like a hairnet that you just put over the old helmet? Why does it have to look so shabby?
Why don't they have airbags? Why don't they just, if they want to do something where the fans will look and go, ooh, why don't they just have airbags? I'm sure Takata has a bunch of airbags that they're happy to install in those helmets. You can watch the metal fragments fly off into the atmosphere as and into people in the stands. That would solve part of the problem of the fans being close to the action. Many of the fans would say, I think I'm going to sit a row or two up.
I think we're going to move back just a little bit from the fray.
I think you're going to think about those second level seats are looking a lot better these days.
And don't call them airbags, call them head bags. And the head bag goes off and pieces of shrapnel fly this way and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good in the replay. Let's take a look at that in super slow. Oh, yeah.
Some guy gets it right in the eye and it takes his eye out, which is a warning that your mother gave you.
So you're going to get your eye put out.
Keep playing this game and somebody's going to take an eye out. And little did you know that 43 years later, on a September afternoon,
with the head bag going off,
here comes an airbag going off and you're getting it in the eye. But yeah, it didn't seem like, it didn't seem, and again, I'm prefacing this with, I didn't see the game, so I can't, but I read, I read enough about the game from some of the fine writers employed by both the San Francisco SF Gate and the Seattle Times and the Athletic and the New York Times to tell me that both of these teams, after how many weeks of practice, had some fundamental problems that they need to probably work on.
And at the same time, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens game, 41-40 was the final, extremely close game. The Bills were down 15 points with 4.5 minutes to play, and they came back and won. They scored and scored and then scored again. 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and managed to pull it off.
I think that's their march to the Super Bowl. I got to be honest with you. I had a discussion with my nephew about this over the weekend. It appears that most sensible people are looking at the Buffalo Bills and saying, this team's going to the Super Bowl.
Well, until the last 5 minutes of the game, the Ravens dominated the whole game. They were leading. They kept the lead, and then they just fell silent.
Yeah, quiet. The Ravens didn't get Robert Saleh back. 49ers did. So, meanwhile, Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, it appeared that the New York Jets continued their falling. I mean, we had of the teams that I keep an eye on. Two of them had former Jet quarterbacks at the helm. Sam Darnold up
Yep.
in beautiful Seattle,
Yep.
and of course our favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, pushed the buttons in Pittsburgh. And I saw Mike Tomlin with something very rare. The head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers had a smile on his face while he was standing next to Aaron Rodgers, which told me that anything in life is possible. Because these are two guys that are probably could be at no more opposite ends
Of the human spectrum
of life,
Yeah.
than Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. But yet here they are standing on a field somewhere in Pittsburgh and smiling to beat the band.
Mike Tomlin usually is very direct in his comments, and Aaron Rodgers often makes no sense no matter what he says.
Yeah, he doesn't make sense. If he's handing a guy $5 to park his car, he makes no sense. So,
So you're giving me the $5 to park your car or not? Because right now I can't tell. By your comments, Mr. Rogers, is that yes, here's the $5, please park my car? Or is that no, I'm taking my car somewhere else? Or I'm just going to leave it here and we'll see what happens when I get back and see if the car's still going to be here.
Well, and of course, a plethora of conspiracy theories come along with that. He can't make a move without talking to Joe Rogan. So,
like, where did this $5 come from, and who's responsible for?
Right, this was a better country when we issued silver certificates instead of notes that say "In God we
There's no
trust."
gold behind this. There's no gold behind this $5 bill, so it's really not worth anything.
Right.
So you should just park my car, and I'm giving you nothing.
And that's why, let me say to you, as Joe Rogan, that you should check out my friends at Tom Selleck's Gold. Tom Selleck's Gold on La Cienega will sell you gold. All types of gold. Some is pure gold, some is not so pure, some that fell off the back of a truck. Tom Selleck's Gold.
The price of gold is set every day in London for the whole world, except for us, because we're dealing with a different kind of gold. It's Joe Rogan gold. It's a new kind of gold. It's superior to the kind of gold that you've used in the past. And we don't have to ask somebody in London what the price of our gold is, because we set the price ourselves, and it's always more than the guy in London. He says it's $1,800 an ounce, and we say it's 21.
Remember when you went to school and it was $35 an ounce?
Forever.
For how long? Like the whole time we were in grammar school. It was $35, maybe even high school. It was $35 an ounce.
I say 38. No, check that. It's got to be 35.
You could bank on it. You could, which many people did. It wasn't worth owning gold because the price was not going to appreciate enough for your investment to pay off.
Nobody wanted silver because that was like half the price of gold. So why would you even buy it?
Yeah, you take all you want. We got Nevada. Go to Nevada. They give it as you come into the state. They give you a bag of it.
Here's a little bag of silver, just as a hello. Welcome to Nevada.
Little drawstring on it. You can stop and get. As a matter of fact, the Royal Crown Cola that you'll buy at the first casino in Nevada, which is smack up at the state line, will be more than the sack of silver that you're going to get.
More valuable.
Yeah, the sugar in the Royal Crown Cola will cost more money than the bag of silver that we're going to hand you. But lo and behold, now it's all changed. And why has it changed? Because the people at Tom Selleck Gold have said it is. And Tom Selleck Gold, which is just located there on La Cienega, you can stop in Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, open Sundays from noon to 5, and buy yourself all the Tom Selleck Gold that you can get.
Our salesman worked the counter with 9mm Glocks at their waist.
Yeah.
They'll buzz you in one at a time, but they don't want to mess with anybody. If you fool around at Tom Selleck Gold or any gold shop, they'll just shoot you down right where you stand.
Right. That's Tom Selleck Gold. Oh, but speaking about that, Michael, I failed to mention this as I was talking about my visit to Malibu last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I happened to park across the street from the Shabbat store. You know what the Shabbat store is?
Probably a Jewish organization.
It is. It is exactly bingo. It is a Jewish organization that I think is a help organization. They help people, all people, but I think probably dominantly Jewish people that run into trouble in their life, either whether it be financial or socially, as far as different things that can happen. Old people, Anyway, and what impressed me about the Shabbat store, which I was parked across the street from, aside from the fact that they had a big sign outside, a marquee sign where you put the letters in that said fresh challah bread on Friday, which I would have stuck around for that, to be honest with you.
That's tasty.
Yeah, but also there was a guy working at the store who seemed to be moving some cars around the parking lot and going in, coming out, going in, coming out. And he had just a huge gun strapped to his waist, a large gun. It was an business gun.
You just don't see that in California.
Yeah, it struck me as odd. I mean, I understood it with all the stuff that,
defense.
Unfortunately, but it kind of took me back to the 60s in Brooklyn and Queens, when they used to have the Jewish Defense League, Mir Kahan and his guys, who used to walk around, carrying pistols. They had a conceal permit, but nobody concealed it. These cats walked around with 6 shooters in their hips. On their hips, I should say.
Right.
And for whatever reason, it just struck me as odd. You just don't see that except in the movies in California. Dirty Harry has a gun like that. And I mean, this guy had a gun that was strapped like down the side of his leg.
He had a large shooting instrument.
He wasn't just going to take out the person who shot at the Shabbat store. He was going to disable their engine block as well.
Yep.
And going through the fender, the front suspension. He was intent on. They weren't going to answer any questions.
In fact, no questions were going to be asked.
Weren't even going to be asked, man. If you hurt somebody there, consider your life to be permanently changed.
Open fire.
And not for the best. But it was something to see, and of course, like I said, took me back to the 60s, and the tough Jewish guys in Brooklyn,
the Jewish Defense League,
and they were badass Jews, man. You did not want to mess with them. I actually worked with a couple of them when I was a bouncer at the Rocky Horror Show, and they had a few of them that worked there.
They had Jewish Defense League bouncers at the Rocky Horror Show?
At the Rocky Horror Picture Show, yes. Yeah, the guys that were, I guess they were former, well, there was a point where the JDL kind of publicly disbanded, but they never really disbanded. If you went to places like Borough Park and you were stupid enough to drive there on a Saturday night and bother the people that were coming from synagogue, from shul, the people with the big hats and the wigs and the whole thing, you quickly found out that they hadn't disbanded.
There was another group in New York. They wore the red beanies and...
Guardian Angels, yes.
Guardian Angels, thank you.
Yes, well, Guardian Angels were they were the eyes of the police, and they were, they were trying to get, I don't know what they were trying. Although their leader, Curtis Sliwa, is running for mayor of New York,
Well, he's on he's on WABC.
Yeah, he's running for mayor on the Republican ticket, running against Mario Cuomo, not Mario Cuomo, but the Andrew Cuomo, the former governor, and Mahami Mahat Met Mahami or something like that, who is about as close to a socialist as you're going to get outside of Berkeley. And
well, New York's a big place. You got to bend some rules and make some agreements to get stuff done every day.
Right, and the things that he says, if you stop and listen to him, aren't everybody's all up in arms because he's a Muslim, and everybody's all up in arms because he's advocating. Well, there are people in this city with too much money, and some of that money needs to be poured into the city for schools, for hospitals.
If you want the city to work in a certain way, you got to pay the freight, and then we'll get it done.
If you want people to, if you want the average working person to enjoy the benefits of the city as other people do,
every shop can't be the Erewhon store.
Right. We can either, somebody has to have a bohack somewhere. It's just got to be, there's got to be a 6 for $99 Knickerbocker store somewhere. There's got to be some place where the average person can go in, a Gristides, a Wallbaum's, a place where people can go in and actually somewhat afford, a chicken and a 6-pack of beer. And so he's being vilified by everybody because, not everybody, he's being vilified by, the very people who would benefit.
But the people of New York, the average voter, are attracted to his message because it's not just make New York affordable again, but make New York work. It's a big, busy, rich, monster city. Making it work is not easy.
Right. And he says he doesn't have all the answers. From what I've seen, he professes to have some of the answers. Cuomo, nobody, everybody's, the only thing that they can come up with. I mean, I heard Sliwa talking over the weekend, and every other word out of his mouth was how Cuomo slapped some chick's ass in an office. Well, you know what? If he can get the city working, I guess maybe he should slap some chick's ass. I don't know. It's crazy. And then you have the guy who actually is the mayor of New York, who is so far in bed with the Trump people.
And he can't be the mayor.
Yeah, that he can't be the mayor anymore. They're going to make him the ambassador to Saudi Arabia.
That's not going to work. You can do it. You can send him, but it's not going to work.
Well, you can send him, but there's no guarantee he's not coming back in a couple of packages.
Freeze
dried. You're going to have to assemble him when he gets to City Hall.
What the hell is this? Is it freeze-dried humans? Yeah, they do that over there. They send the parts back.
Yeah, they take them apart, put them in packages, and send them back to you.
And they want a rebate. I'm telling you.
They don't put instructions in it. They don't say, this goes here, this goes here. I mean, this guy may come walking out halfway through his term as ambassador to Saudi Arabia with his head where his ass is supposed to be.
I Fall to Pieces is the name of the song that they sing when they put them together or take them apart. But you got to pay the freight. And if you sign for it, then those pieces are yours. You're stuck with them.
The question I'll put forward is that a tariffable item? Is that something that Trump, human body parts? I mean, what's the value and how much is the tariff?
And how much do we have to pay back to Saudi Arabia if we rescind the tariffs? We have to pay back what we've collected. That's the hard part.
Yeah, see, I can't get with that. I'd rather go have an $18 smoothie in Era E2, whatever the heck the name of the store is. But again,
well, we missed a chance. You went through LA because you were on your way north, but next time you're here, we'll go to Erewhon and we'll have lunch.
I think we should. Will they let us do the show from there?
We could probably do it from a table outside. They let anybody sit out there to be seen.
Including homeless people?
They might be stretching it.
Okay, just check it. I mean, many of these places employ a large security force, which I don't, which listen, let's face it, if you have that kind of clientele, if you have a number of people waiting to see Tom Cruise walk through the lobby with a $10 piece of salmon, chances are there's going to be homeless people trying to hit them up for some money.
They're hungry too, you know.
Speaking about hungry, you know what I had for my birthday last night? I got. We went to the Park Chalet, no, the Beach Chalet, which is just this phenomenal. At the end of Golden Gate Park, that big building with the WPA murals in the lobby, and upstairs is a restaurant. And we came downstairs, and my sister and was kind enough to go over to the local Safeway and produce one Carvel ice cream cake.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't put a bigger smile on Vinny's face. You couldn't, and the damn thing was just as good. I mean, Tom Carvel is dead many years, but his ice cream cake,
his vision lives on,
is just as good as I remember it when, we used to get ice cream cake from this place called Edibles. And that was the gold standard of ice cream cakes. It was an old German chocolatier ice cream parlor type of place on Junction Boulevard. And it was, my Aunt Rose used to get cakes from this place. That's how we got introduced, because they lived a couple of blocks before my mom and my dad got married. My mom lived a few blocks from this ice cream parlor. And it was an experience. It wasn't
you don't want to live too close, because then you don't walk it off after you've eaten it. You walk home.
And we had one of these great German bakeries, or a bakery on every block, from Junction Boulevard clear to 74th Street.
I can't remember what they have on every block in Spopakia.
Yeah, there was a place you could get yourself a finely crafted sweet roll, clear Italian, German, Jewish, whatever nationality you were looking for.
We got
a bakery, but Edibles, which is a German name, made these ice cream cakes that just put everybody else to shame. Even Shelley's, which was the premier cake making place. And the only place where I ever saw a Charlie Roos until, anyway, the ice cream cake, the Carvel ice cream cake, Tom Carvel, get Fudgy the Whale, is alive and well. And pieces were distributed at Ocean Beach last night on a beautiful night. And so turning 70 was a wonderful occasion,
gastronomical treat.
Yeah, of having this ice cream cake, which was something that I remember from being a kid, and it hit the spot. It was beautiful. It was wonderful, and it was just one of those. Thank you to my sister and my friends who showed up for producing this, a beautiful dinner. But this ice cream cake that was, that I'll never forget till the day I die. You're sitting on the beach for your 70th birthday having an ice cream cake.
Like a person.
America, pal.
Like people do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many people do, but we did. And it was just, and the other thing, Michael, and I know we're getting close to the edge here, but the other thing is my sister's house is filled on Monday afternoon with the refrains of the Mr. Softy jingle. Mr. Softy has invaded Northern California.
Wow.
It was like when there was two things that happened when you were a kid that made your day. Besides home with a bicycle, would be the Good Humor Bells.
Yeah.
Tinka, and Mr. Softy jingle. Because it was a 15-cent cone with a hard shell cover of either strawberry or chocolate, or cherry, I should say, or chocolate, right on the top of that thing.
Or both? Did you have cherry and chocolate?
No, they couldn't dip them, but you could have vanilla and chocolate ice cream under. As a matter of fact, they actually had a special cone that had two pieces at the top, one for chocolate and one for vanilla. And so you could have that, and then they could dip it in the sludge, the slurry of sugar that was colored, and you could have a childlike, wonderful experience
with Mr. Softy.
With Mr. Softy. Good Humor was all prepackaged. That was all, that was
packaged and wrapped.
Yeah, Mr. Bill, which I think was the guy who was our Good Humor guy on 83rd Street. He would open the door and lean into the truck,
into the ice,
around, and he knew where he knew where everything was, and he'd come out with a banana split pop, or that was the best pop ever, or or a creamsicle, if that was what you were looking for, whatever it was, a fudge, chocolate fudge cake. Yeah, I mean, there were different types of, now you basically get strawberry shortcake.
And a wrapped cone with chocolate and nuts on top.
A pop with a little piece of cake in the middle, and vanilla, and then strawberry flakes on it. But boy, when we were kids, every week Good Humor would have, throughout the summer, they'd have a different flavor that they were featuring. And I waited for that banana split week. That was bar none.
That was living.
It was the best. There was another one called Toasted Almond that was right up next to it. It was a vanilla almond flavored ice cream with shreds of almond.
On the frontage roads in Slovakia, they'd have none of that. They just don't have it. They don't offer it.
They drop pints of Haagen-Dazs. And
it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's just it's a smooth ice cream. Ice cream doesn't taste the same today as it did then. I mean, and maybe it was the fact that you were 7 years old, and
something to do with it.
15 cents in your hand, so that if you look at my hand closely,
you can
there's
see
still an impression in there of a nickel head. The buffalo on the Indian on the nickel is still
and Franklin Roosevelt on the dime.
Yeah. Or you got $1, and you better bring your two sisters back something and change. Or
trouble.
Or trouble.
Trouble that will not go away easily.
On a hot summer night, all you want is your banana split ice cream pop, and for everybody to be happy. Nobody arguing. Everybody happy sitting on the stoop.
You can't end this show on a better note than that right there. Saturday night in Queens.
I think that's and I wonder how we could have such a beautiful experience in Queens and turn out such an asshole as Donnie from Queens. That's something that we'll figure out.
He never got that 15 cents from his dad to go get the ice cream.
Something tells me the Good Humor guy, when he saw his house in Hollis or wherever, I forget now, Jamaica Gardens, hit the gas and went right. He said, "I don't want to deal with this son of a bitch. I just want to go." And therein may lie the problem.
I remember there was a guy in our neighborhood who drove an ice cream truck, and he drove it very fast. He would go slowly through the neighborhood, and then later you'd see him come to the corner, and he would make the corner, and you could hear the ice cream inside the thing shifting to one side.
What was the sense of going out with the ice cream then?
He was in a hurry, always in a desperate hurry I don't know where he was going or what he thought he had to do. I think he just liked to drive fast. But man, he made that ice cream truck move. And
maybe he'd end up at the 2 a.m. club. Maybe that was.
That's possible. Or maybe he started at the 2 a.m. club, and that was the fuel that got him going.
And we had a couple of those. We had a couple ice cream guys that would park their Good Humor cycle in front of the Willow Terrace or McDonald's, or not McDonald's, but McDonald's, which was an Irish bar on Northern Boulevard, or
get a little sauce.
Hallisey's Hobnob Room. That was a favorite spot because it had a bus stop in front of it, where you could tuck away the tricycle. The Good Humor stuff was mounted on. So anyway, yes, you're right. That's a perfect place to end the show with ice cream and great memories. And
happy birthday again, Ben.
Thank you, Michael. It was I couldn't have asked or figured out or planned or come up with a better birthday. It was something else, man. Wish you could have been here. See you Wednesday.
Let's have a wacky Wednesday.
All right.
And maybe Donald Trump will invade Chicago and we'll have something really exciting to talk about.
You know what?
What I would like is for him to just get in with the tiger today and try to reason with the tiger like he does with everybody else. Tell him a story and then see what happens.
Well, I'd pay for that $10 piece of salmon for him to hold in his hand when they let him in the tiger cage, because I understand that kitties like fish.
They're partial to a lot of things, but you're damn right. They love fish.
Yes, you can tell by the empty cans of whatever it is that
Friskies.
Yeah, that gets fed to our young kitty that's running around here, Sugar. Peace, love, and Manischewitz, pal.
What a wine. Happy birthday, Ben. See you
Thank
Wednesday.
you, Michael. See you Wednesday. Thanks a lot. Thank you all for listening, too. We appreciate it. And we'll see you on Wednesday as well. Bye-bye now.
See you.
See you.